Audio Jungle. 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 Audio Jungle.
So, hello for everyone. Dear students, we are going to start our lesson. You know, nowadays the IT industry is revolving around the build-out and adoption of a new platform characterized by mobility, IT-based application and service delivery and value generating. Today in Kazakhstan, the industry of information and communication technologies ICT has been rapidly developing. The growth of ICT is caused, firstly, by the stable growth of the country's economy over the past few years. Secondly, the government of the Republic of Kazakhstan pays more and more attention to ICT, being currently the largest customer of IT services in the country. For instance, you view the state program of electronic government increase the volume of the IT market to 20% per year. So let's continue. You are looking at the following pictures. The state program Informative Kazakhstan 2020 was approved by decree of the president, exactly the first president of the Republic of Kazakhstan, date January 8, 2013, number 464. The goal of the program is to create conditions for the transition to an informative society. The ICT sphere of Kazakhstan has become an independent sector, our economy. It consists telecommunicative industry, postal services, the distribution of development and radio signals, television. This approach is due to the mutual penetration of communication technologies, the spread of television and radio broadcasting, and information technology, which has been observed in recent decades around the world. This is a different people. We are going to get acquainted with them. For instance, this is Semolin Ashimbayev, the first communicative technology which has been improved and developing, and our country is going to improve their communicative technologies. So, go ahead. We are going to get acquainted with the other main schools and main programs of our republic, such as Informative Kazakhstan. And industry of ICT is revolving around the world. Informative Kazakhstan 2020. The new time we have the main activities of the program, creating a regulatory, legal base of the national information infrastructure of the Republic of Kazakhstan, improving the mechanism of state regulation in the field of information, introduction of new information technologies and technical means. So, of course, we have expected results, such a formation and development of a civilized market of information services, creation of a unfiled regulatory legal framework in the field of information. So, improving the effectiveness of state regulation in the field of information and ensuring companies and information system and networks in accordance with international development standard, optimization of budget funds for the creation and use of state information resources. This is the expected result. All these are two expected results. Creating conditions for increasing the competitiveness of domestic telecommunications equipment, information products and services, attracting private investment in project. So, the next picture, I want to pay your attention that thousands of free IT classes will appear in our country at the next years. The initiator of the project was the Nuratan Party, together with government agencies and academies and other business countries. Party members plan to contribute to the development of the Digital Kazakhstan program. The first IT class has already opened in Astana. More than 1,500 children study at the 73rd Metropolitan School. And so on. In the future, on the initiative of the Nuratan Party and other company,
В 73-й столичной школе обучается более 1500 детей. С недавних пор по инициативе Нуратана здесь открыли новый цифровой кабинет. Преподавание в этом классе ведется по международным методикам. Школьники учатся здесь робототехнике, логике, компьютерному моделированию, а также самостоятельно создавать сайты. По словам партийцев, такие бесплатные кабинеты с 1 сентября откроют во всех государственных школах Астаны, а в течение 3 лет подобные классы появятся по всему Казахстану.
В рамках вот именно новых тенденций сегодня очень важна подготовка кадров, и наш проект 1000 IT-классов направлен на то, чтобы готовить кадры для цифровой экономики. В целом процесс этот, наверное, должен начинаться со школы, дети обучаются и будут обучаться основам программирования, будут обучаться основам робототехники, будут обучаться каким-то другим перспективным направлениям. Вот как сегодня мы в Астане познакомились, это направление STEM.
Как говорят инициаторы проекта, он также способен решить проблему доступности цифровых навыков и знаний для детей, которые учатся в малокомплектных и сельских школах. После обучения перед ними откроются новые возможности и перспективы на будущее, говорят специалисты.
Мы хотим программирование донести до села, в моногородах, в сельской местности, туда, куда коммерческие центры образовательные не дойдут. Этим проектом мы хотим детям от 8 лет дать навыки программирования. Наша задача обучить свыше 200 тысяч детей по всему Казахстану. Представляете, если на рынок Казахстана придет 200 тысяч айтишников, и вот тогда начнется цифровой бум.
So, in Kokshetau, a new IT school with 900 places has been opened where targeted work on digitalization has been launched. The following projects have already been implemented in the region: 119 robotics rooms and 2 technoparks are functioning. As the initiator of the party, 28 IT classes will work in the coming academic year. In the future, work is underway to equip school libraries
С этого года мы ввели бесплатный факультативный курс по 3D-моделированию. Сюда в основном приходят старшеклассники. 1 час в неделю, 34 часа в год. Эти ребята будущие архитекторы, дизайнеры. Я считаю, что нужно постигать азы со школьной скамьи. Мое поколение могло научиться такому моделированию только в ВУЗе.
Мы с друзьями можем смоделировать дома, здания и сооружения. Я хочу стать архитектором, поэтому с большим удовольствием хожу на эти курсы.
В этой школе 2 года активно действует кабинет робототехники, а опыт внедрения IT-класса уже перенимают другие регионы. Профессия программиста на рынке труда становится с каждым годом все более перспективной, отметили нуротановцы на встрече с учениками. Так, в Акмолинской области айтишников нового поколения будут готовить в стенах одного из частных вузов. Недавно здесь начал работу первый IT-центр. Таких в стране будет 20, и ежегодно они смогут обучать программированию до 35 тысяч слушателей.
Мировой опыт сегодня показывает, что для подготовки программистов не нужно их обучать 4 года на бакалавриате. Достаточно полгода, чтобы программисты обучились каким-то базовым вещам. В дальнейшем уже в процессе работы, общаясь друг с другом, ездя на какие-то семинары, уже набирались бы знаний. Именно по этому направлению надо специализировать наши IT-центры, чтобы они были именно с центрами подготовки высококвалифицированных программистов. Сегодня Акмолинская область находится в лидерах, наверное, по реализации партийных.
Let's get started another way of our lecture. World in the program. Now let's talk about that how school children from different countries are taught to program. Yes, it's about of United States of America. The modern computer science takes place from USA. We use American programs, programming languages. For instance, summer computer camps in the USA and Canada are very popular. This year and in the future, 60 universities and more participated in the ID Programming Academic program. 20,000 teenagers became participants in the program. The program was launched in 12 years ago at the University of Washington, and then only 200 children participated. Over the past year, the number of program participants grew by 90%. So, as you can see, the different robotics room. This is the ID Programming Academy. For instance, iPhone and iPad application development, iPhone CDK, Objective, and application development for Google Android, and etc. Did you know? Nearly 60% of people think computer coding is an important skill for today's job market, and 1 in 6 people do not have basic digital skills, and for about nearly 50% of people would like to learn computer coding. Let's talk about Great Britain. This year and in the future, Great Britain public schools will start learning the basics of programming. In the future, children from 5 years old will learn to create simple programs, and from 11 years old, school children will learn various programs and at least 2 programming languages. In the future, school children had previously studied the basics of computer literacy, but the old programs were designed primarily to study computer use as users. So, and let's talk about the France. In the France, Programming courses for elementary schools students will begin in French schools too. During extracurricular activities, pupils will be able to get acquainted with the basics of computer literacy and creating simple applications. Presenting the program, the French Ministry of Education expressed the hope that subsequently programming training will be extended to high school. According to the minister, programming lessons can arouse students' interests in technical and IT specialties. You know, there is a very high level of programming skills. So, we are going to talk about another country. Did you know what kind of country we are going to talk about? Yes, of course. We are going to talk about Finland. The Ministry of Education of Finland announced plans to introduce the basics of programming into the primary school program. In this case, it's not about learning any programming language, but about mastering basic commands and structures in high school. School children will learn a visual programming environment such as Scratch, which is a visual object-oriented programming environment for teaching primary and secondary school children. Scratch was created as a continuation of ideas of the language like Logo and Lego, and only in high school will be given the opportunity to try working with the real programming languages. Another country in Europe. We are going to talk about another country. And can you guess? Yes, it's about Poland. In the future, the program Coding Masters has been operating in Poland aimed at teaching elementary school children to the basics of programming. In order to participate in the program, there must be at least 2 teachers at the school who are ready to participate in the program, as well as all the necessary equipment. In the first year of the program, 120 schools and more than 6,000 school children took part in it. For school children in grades 4 and 6, the basics for learning programming was also the Scratch environment. According to the plans of the Polish Ministry of Education, this program covers more than 50,000. So, let's continue. What about South Korea? The Ministry of Education of South Korea has announced plans to introduce the basics of programming into the national education program. Since 2015, school children have been learning program in high school. In 2017, program had been improved, and in 2018, offered to high school children like elective courses. And in addition, programming can be one of the exams for admission to Korean universities. Yes, of course, nowadays South Korea is one of the most famous countries which is improved their information technologies. So, the next country is Japan. Young Japanese will learn the basics of programming from a young age. By decision of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sport, Science and Technology, yes, in Japan it's one ministry. Programming will become a compulsory subject in a primary school from 2020, a compulsory subject in intermediate school from 2021, and finally, compulsory subject in high school from 2022. Programming improves the logical thinking and creative abilities of children. In elementary school, programming will be taught in a playful way. In some schools of Japan, programming has already been introduced as a compulsory subject in elementary school by school admissions. school administrations, public organizations, and companies. The first experiments showed a positive result, and now these prefectures will set an example for the national curriculum. Changes in the school curriculum are caused by high demand for programmers in the labor market. We're going to talk about China. By 2030, China plans to become a leader in artificial intelligence. It's not surprising that in these conditions, technical and scientific educational programs like STEM are gaining increasing popularity in the country. In the coming years, the government will launch courses on artificial intelligence in primary and secondary classes, and programming will become as popular as English. The market of STEM education in China has already exceeded 9.6 billion yuan. Within the 5 years, this figure will grow to 52 billion yuan. According to the information and researches, Chinese school children and students under the age of 18 will be engaged in mathematics. The next country is India. The Indian ICT market is one of the rise in the coming years. Starting from 2012, the average annual growth rate of enterprises for IT will be 8 or 9%. Indian IT companies continue to expand into the international market. Today's India is an industrial leader in the IT industry, also dominant in the global market. Today, the business of outsourcing is incredibly in demand in the world. Among the largest companies, customers of software offshore services include IBM Global Service, Computer Science, CGI Group, Siemens Business Services, and many others. Indian programmers readily take on the work that, for example, Americans consider a routine and unpromising. In American call centers, staff turnover is about 80%, and in India, where this job is treated like a long-term career, the current staff ratio is about 20%. The next country is our neighbor, Russian Federation. In the Russian Federation, computer science is an area of applied school curriculum. In elementary school, children are introduced to the elements of programming, especially school children like the logo writer programming language. Much attention is paid to the package of Microsoft Office applications. In high school, children are trying to penetrate deeper into the process of creating computer programs. So, we're going to talk about IT school in Russian Federation. IT School Samsung is an additional education program on the basics of IT and programming. It was created by Samsung and being implemented with the support of Ministry of Education and Science of the Russian Federation in order to train 5,000 school children in more than 20 cities of Russia for 5 years. During the year, step by step, school children students are invited through 5 training modules. So, including the basics of programming, Java language, object-oriented programming, and data structures, the basics of programming, Android applications, and data structures in the Java language, basics of developing the server-part mobile applications. At the end of the training, IT students at Samsung schools protect an individual project, their own mobile applications, which will be in demand for further study. So, in conclusion, I wanna say that programming skills are increasingly required for people in everyday life to control household appliances, gadgets, etc. We are going to penetrate in the bright future. Today, humanity is entering a new stage of development, the informative society, where informative resources are the most important product of social life. The pace of scientific and technological development, creation of new technologies, equipment and products is so high that it's necessary to search for a fundamentally new education model that meets the requirements of the upcoming informative civilization. And we really do hope that we are all together. Yes, of course, you are students of our South Kazakhstan State Pedagogical University and students from all over the world. We are all together. We build the bright Kazakhstan in the future.